What's going on, world? I'm Shamir Maloney, the host of the So What I'm Living podcast. Welcome back for another edition. I got the homie Crypto Twig sitting up there. What's up, Twig? All the way from Leeds,
Hey,
UK.
what's good, bro?
And on the phone today, we got our boy Old Dirty. Y'all remember our caller from a couple episodes? Well, he came back, and eventually he'll be a host on our show. So I want everybody to welcome Old Dirty and my boy Crypto Twig. I need to get that round of applause sound effect. That it'll come. We'll get that shit.
With that
So,
soundbar, bro.
how you guys feeling today?
Feeling good, bro? Ready to go?
All right, all
Pretty
right.
good. Trying to stay a few steps ahead,
Man,
stay in
always, man.
motion.
Man, you stay in motion, boy. You can't bend. Sir Isaac Newton say an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by equal or greater force, man. So, boy, I feel that. But hey, guys, I got a story for you guys today. Now, it's hard to deal with death. Everybody knows it's hard to deal with death, especially a close death. Now, the closer it is, the harder it is, right? So, I couldn't imagine losing a loved one, a friend, a brother, a sister, let alone a child, right? And I couldn't imagine trying to save my child's life without ever knowing that it was my child, right? So this is kind of the basis and the key points of the story that I'm going to bring you today. So a couple weeks ago, out of Canada, there was a terrible car accident, right? And during this terrible car accident, there was a paramedic called to the scene. Her name was Jamie Erickson. Now, during this time when Jamie Erickson arrives to the scene, right? The passenger was the driver was able to exit the vehicle. At the time that the driver exited the vehicle, the passenger was stuck and had to be, extracted from the vehicle. Had severe trauma, and this paramedic stayed there doing a wonderful job. All the way up till the passenger of the car was airlifted to the hospital. Now, it wasn't until Jamie Erickson arrived home to find police officers at her door that she found out that the accident that she was at and the person who she was trying to save was actually her daughter. And her efforts, they weren't successful. Her daughter passed away. And boy, when I tell you this one hit me like a bag of bricks. Imagine that you go to work and that your job is to save lives. And when you get to work, you do your job saving lives the best that you can. You get home only to find out the life that you tried to save was your own daughter's and she passed away. Could you imagine something like that?
That's some deep shit right there, bro. Was it a car crash? This is what caused the accident.
Yeah, so apparently it was a car crash. The reason that Jamie Erickson didn't know it was her daughter is because her daughter was driving home from school with a friend, right?
Mm.
And she was in this friend's car. And when she was in this friend's car, I guess they had an accident, and that's when she arrived on the scene. Now I had a bunch of questions, but then they kind of started to make sense. If I'm a paramedic, I'm there and I'm not really collecting information on what happened at the
No,
scene. I'm
the
collecting
adrenaline's
information
going as
on,
well.
yeah, and you collecting
When
information
adrenaline
on the
gets going,
patient.
like, yeah,
I,
yeah,
I'm thinking about she probably feels bad too, because I bet you if she would have known it was her daughter, she probably would have took one extra step. She would have tried to do something else versus it just being
yeah.
a random, or
That's
her
what I
thinking
was
it was a
thinking as
random
well.
person. Like, so she
Hmm.
probably really feels fucked up. But that's just like you got to treat every person like it is your kid or it is your family member. Try that one extra step. You never know. But
Well, before I dive deeper in the story, let's jump over here to our TV room, right? I actually have some footage from the national news outlet, and I also have the raw interview that Jamie gave after, or the press release that she gave after everything was happening, and she figured out everything that was going on. So right now, I'm gonna jump over here to the TV room, right? we'll take a look at this 3-second clip or this 3-minute clip that I got from the National, right? They'll explain some parts of the story that I might have missed, you know. And at this time, we'll go to the whole raw interview, which isn't covered like by news, like, you know, they break it all down, and then we can see, you know, bits and pieces, and maybe we can find, you know, or connect some dots from there. So let's jump over here and let's look at this story right here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play.
The paramedic was first on the scene of a serious car crash north of Calgary. She didn't realize the passenger was her 17-year-old daughter, Montana.
She was a fighter, and she fought until the day that she died.
Montana was getting a ride home with a friend last Tuesday when their car hit an oncoming vehicle. Her injuries were so severe, her own mother treated her on the scene for 20 minutes and didn't recognize her. It wasn't until a visit from the RCMP and then...
Okay, so I just want to interject real quick. So she said that her injuries were so severe that her mom treated her for 20 minutes and she didn't realize who she was. So I'm assuming that she was so badly hurt that she couldn't talk. You know, she was probably mangled. I don't know if she was wearing her safety belt or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? So imagine this, that your own mom comes to the scene to help you and you so fucked up, she can't even recognize you. Like, dog, that shit hurt my heart, dog, because like I instantly start thinking about my kids. I'm like, damn, I couldn't imagine. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play because I'm talking, but
then a trip to the hospital that she realized it was her daughter. Montana died a few days later.
Of her organs, 2 of them that were donated were life-saving, and we're so happy to know that our baby girl is living on through others, and she has, in the wake of this tragedy, she has saved other people.
Okay, I'm gonna interject right here. This ain't got nothing to do with the story, but I ain't giving my organs to nobody. If I die, don't put my heart, my lungs, and nobody, unless they are my flesh of my flesh and blood of my blood. And that's a topic for a whole nother day. Hey, I'm happy that Jamie Erickson was able to do this. Her daughter was able to save some lives, but I ain't donating none of mine. You understand what I'm saying? And I got reasons for that, you know, and we'll talk about that on another podcast.
Yeah, I'm interested to know why.
She was an accomplished swimmer. Her mother describes Montana as a devoted friend and a firecracker. Montana's mother, father, stepfather, and uncle are all paramedics. Her death and what her mother went through has shaken first responders.
They all paramedics.
Jamie unknowingly was keeping her own daughter alive.
Whoa.
As both a parent and a first responder, I can tell you this is beyond a nightmare that any of
And
us
where
could have
is it?
conceived.
It's in
We are
Canada.
all just one call away
Canada.
from never doing this job again. Jamie's traumatic story is affecting first responders across this country.
That's what Montana's family...
You hear what they said, though? They said they all one job and one phone call away from never doing this job again. Never doing this job again. That's what they say. Now, this is the interview right here where it's not like a reporter talking over it. It's just her. It's about 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Y'all can see down there. And it's just like the raw interview of Ms. Erickson. But what that responder said, right, what that paramedic said, they said they all one phone call away. You know what I'm saying? Because like what we got to understand is that when we call a first responder and we call these paramedics and we call these firemen and we call these policemen, they're the first ones on the scene of what we call tragic events. You know what I'm saying? And they are seeing the devastation. They seeing people with their brains blowed out. They seeing people with their organs on the street, right? So I'm from Ohio, and in Ohio, when you go when you were trying to get your license before you the age of 18, you gotta go to driving school, right? And when you go to this driving school, they show you all these videos from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, before they had like laws and regulations on the highways and different things like that. And then they just show you different collisions of what speed and what weather and like what weather conditions can do to cars, right? And these graphic videos, because they trying to like damn near scare the shit out of you so you don't like get it behind the car and, you know, go joyriding doing 150 through the thing, right? And you learn a lot of things while you're doing this. But the reason I bring this up is while I was watching these videos, you seeing people with their organs spread out across the highway. Like, you know what I'm saying? You seeing people like, you know what I mean? crushed, like, you know what I mean, pop canned, and like, you know what I mean. So like, I'm going back to this as I'm thinking about this little girl, you know what I'm saying, 16-year-old girl. Look, you see how frail she was, how little her body was, like, you know what I mean. She's not like, she may be 110 pounds, like, you know what I'm saying. And what we fail to realize is that these cars are 2 tons, they're 3 tons. Like every ton is like, you're talking about 2,000 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And these are machines that are 2, 3, 4,000 pounds traveling at speeds of 60, 70, 80, 100 miles an hour and a collision. And it goes back to a key thing that I said to Dirty when we first started this. I said, Sir Isaac Newton said, an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by equal or greater force. So if I'm in motion in a 3,000, 2,000, 4,000 pound machine going in a direction at 80 miles per hour, and then I'm acted upon by equal or greater force, what is that going to do to a 120 pound body?
Obliterate.
So she is sitting here working on her obliterated daughter, mangled to the point of no recognition. And the paramedics say, man, we all that one phone call away to never doing this job again. And it's so significant because these are the people who coming to you when you in the position, when you mangled and you fucked up, and we need you. So what can we do? Like, my mind goes to what can we do, right? Because like we know people get paid for these jobs, they make a living off these jobs, but what we don't do is give gratification for the service that these jobs provide.
Yeah.
Because
and the effects it can cause on the people doing the jobs.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's why you got these cops having mental breakdowns. You have these doctors and these nurses having mental break. These nurses is getting paid $150, $200 an hour and they quitting.
Yeah.
They brain can't take it. You know what I'm saying? Because regardless to what somebody says, you know what I'm saying? It takes a different kind of person to wake up and see some fucked up shit every day. You know what I mean? Like it just takes a different kind of human being. You know what I mean?
Going to war every day, technically.
Yeah. So, and then, so like, I'm gonna go to this video and I want to play some of this video because in it, they kind of like break down to what she's talking about. So they got kind of the intro, they got the pain, where she describes her daughter as a firecracker and as a successful swimmer. And, you know what I mean? So I just want to, I'll probably skim through some of this video because I ain't gonna like, you know what I mean? But it's only 3 minutes. So I'll probably let it play and just, you know, talk about it. Cause like, the reason that I even brought y'all this podcast is I know it's a sensitive subject, but she wanted to spread the light on the world. She wanted the world to hear this story. You know what I'm saying? And if it touched me, man, I wanted to touch everybody. So I'm part of the world and I'm gonna spread the message because each one teach one and it take us all to pass on. You know what I mean? Goodwill hunting style. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to hit play, man. Let y'all watch this. Dirty, you still with us? All right, y'all. We might have lost Dirty, man. If you come,
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Dirty's still there. All right, bro. I ain't heard from you in a minute, man. I was worried about you, man. I said, man, I wonder if we lost connection or something. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, man, and y'all let me know what y'all think afterward.
It meant the world to all of us. This tragedy is not only felt here in this community. It's felt throughout the province and maybe even the country. I think every first responder can relate to the pain that we're feeling. Nobody wants to go through anything like this, and I just want my baby girl's memory to live on, and I want everybody to know how much she meant to us and how much she means to all of my coworkers. Anybody who knew Montana, they'd call her a firecracker. She would love fiercely if you were her friend. She would love you to the end of the world and back, and she would do anything for you. She was a fighter, and she fought until the day that she died. And she was beautiful. She was so beautiful. If she ever put an effort into anything, she would always succeed at it. very successful swimmer throughout her years, aspirations of being a lawyer post high school. She was a very funny girl, and we all loved her very much. In the end, Montana was able to give one last gift, and she was able to donate her organs, and of her organs, 2 of them that were donated were life-saving, and we're so happy to know that our baby girl is living on through others, and she has, in the wake of this tragedy, she has saved other people. We know it's what she would have wanted, and we are so proud of her. And we're gonna miss her very, very much. We thank all of the support that we've gotten from every first responder. We've had people reaching out from across the country into America and even overseas. And I know it's felt hard and everybody is hurting. And I just want everybody to know that we thank them and we know that they share our pain.
All right. Man. Thoughts, gentlemen? Let me start with Dirty, man. I ain't heard from Dirty in a minute, man. What's your thoughts on that, Dirty? I don't know if Dirty's still with us. But in the meantime, what's your thoughts on that? He might have. What's your thoughts on that, Twig?
Yeah, it's a crazy story, man. Like I've never heard anything like this before. I'm just hearts and prayers go out to the family and all the people involved. But I'm just wondering, did she resign after this, or does she plan carrying on working?
That I don't know. Maybe we can dig into that now and find that out. You know, in the meantime, I will I'll try to figure it out as well, because like that's pretty good, man. That kind of stumped me. But one thing that
Yeah,
I
'cause
wanted to
coming
make,
back from something like that, that's like when equivalent to like if an army soldier goes through an extremely intense firefight and they can never really recover from that, and you know, the brain works in weird ways for different people. Um, and it's like we were saying before, it's the exact same as being in that situation, going out as someone who's a paramedic, coming to save lives every day. You're going into an active war zone in a sense.
yeah. I mean, yeah, and to be honest, like, I mean, because like I think this happened 11 days ago, so I'm just looking through now, like just trying to find a quick response, but I don't even think they would ask her something like that yet. I think right now she
No,
just got that grieving period to like, I don't know if I'm
yeah,
going back. I don't know. I think it's just up in the air at this point. Like, and that's just me thinking. I don't know, like if she made any decision or if she hasn't. But I do want to shine light on the fact of how incredibly strong this woman is. Like, dude, like to
yeah,
just hold it together just to even make that statement. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, wow.
yeah,
Like, how strong can you be to go through
yeah.
a traumatic, life-changing experience like this one, right?
Mm,
And turn around, stand up, and have the courage to speak so well and so fluently, you know, in front of all these people without breaking down. That takes a
yeah,
lot of strength. Like, you know, and I
mm,
just want to shine light on that because this woman is strong. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like
yeah,
this woman is, you know, my hats go off to how strong this lady is, because I commend you, you know, just for, you know, being able to get up there and share this story with us and share the light of your
hmm,
daughter with us, and, you know, just give us a different perspective and just not let the media run with it, right? Because, you know, a story
yeah,
like this, people are going to run with it left, right, whatever, right? I don't think that they could have did anything like, or they could have, you know, but I don't think they would have, you know, did anything, you know, to make it a crazy story to where, because it's already crazy enough. But for her to
hmm,
just, you know, stand up and shed some light, man, it just shows you how strong this woman is, you know?
yeah, yeah. Like public speaking's hard enough, but going through something like that and then being able to stand up and speak and keep it all together, and even being able to talk about her daughter the way she did without breaking down is just to think about what someone like that's going through, and a family, and even all the
Uh-huh.
people that they work with, because they all probably knew her. You know, it's almost it's almost good to see that she has that tight group around her.
Yeah.
because I'd hate to think what it'd be like going through that if it's just you and a couple of people, you know. It's
Yeah.
important to have a strong circle around you.
And apparently it was like 3 or 4 paramedics in the
Mm.
family, as they were saying in their interview. So it probably all touched him in a different kind of way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I also want to
That
say,
affected the way that they look at the job.
everybody said, like, I mean, a lot of people probably see how unfortunate the situation is, but just, and being the guy that just looks at things different, how fortunate is it for you to be the one to spend the last moments with your daughter? You know what I mean? Like, out of
Mm.
all the paramedics they could have called, out of all the people they could have called, how
Yeah.
fortunate are you to be able to want to comfort your daughter, right? I remember Dirty said something when we first got on here, and he was like, "Man, if you knew it was your daughter, you would have went that much harder." But like in this lady's voice, it doesn't sound like there's regret, right? It doesn't sound
No.
like she didn't do what she was supposed to do. It sounded like she got there and she handled business, and in a way she was grateful that she got to spend those last moments with her daughter. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Being the one to comfort her, to being the one, because as a first responder, if you're not that person, then you have those thoughts, you got those questions that you're asking one of your friends, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
or your coworkers, and it's that pressure on them, and then
Yeah.
for the rest of life they feeling like they failed you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in this way, she gets to save all that turmoil, and she knows that, hey man, I got there and I handled business, and I did what I was supposed to do to save my daughter. It was just her time. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that solace in itself is just like, that's a blessing from God.
Mm.
That's a blessing from God, because like all the time, man, people don't get to spend the last moments with their loved ones. You man, think about the people
Yeah.
that die in the streets. Think about Takeoff, and all these other
Mm.
people that just passed away that's no longer with us. They their loved ones weren't there, and she was in this terrible thing, and she was there to comfort her daughter in this time. And whether her
Hmm.
daughter was unconscious, or you know what I mean, whether she just couldn't speak or whatever else, she knew that was her mother, and she heard her
Mm.
mother's voice. And how soothing
Yeah.
would that be for you to be going through this thing, and your mom's there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know that your mom does this, and my mom's taking
Mm.
care of me, right? And in a way, for our whole lives, like, you know what I mean? It's just a different kind of comfort when, we fucked up and our mom's there, It's just
Yeah.
different, And I just think that's a blessing in itself. It's just like, man, you were able to spend the last moments with your child, and you were the one that was comforting her. You know what I mean? You were the
Hmm.
one, helping her through these steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to spend
Yeah.
that with her, and that's something that a lot of people don't get, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah. No
thankful she
matter
got
what, she
that.
knows that she was there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But man, it sucks that it just happened so close to the holidays and Christmas and different things like that.
Mm.
Probably got all her gifts under the tree. You know what I mean? Fuck, it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So,
It just highlights what life really is, and that it can be so short. And
and
I
just
think one thing to come out of it is that you should live every day like you want to live it. You know,
yeah, and
not trying
just
to
love
follow
your
in a
people,
certain
man.
rules.
Life's
Yeah.
short, man. We
Yeah.
should, practice forgiveness. Not stupidity,
Hmm.
but we should practice forgiveness. We should, lift the hatred in our hearts. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then this story going so close to the holiday, man, we should, like I said, man, we should really just take the time to reevaluate, you know what I mean, the problems that we have with people and the time that we have with people, because, like, man, you don't
Mm.
get it back. These are things
No.
that you'll never get back, man. And you know what I mean? Just take the time and hug your people and kiss them and love them, because, like, man, stories like this, man, it just reminds you, man, how fast life can go, and
Mm.
how bizarre and how crazy the situation can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't never want it to be one of these situations, because, like, man, just what I got from this lady is she left it all on the floor. You know what I mean? She loved
Yeah.
her daughter. It wasn't regret in her voice. I mean, in her
Mm.
voice, it was just sadness that light was gone, right?
Mm.
And like I said, I was just happy that I was able to witness this woman, stand up and be so strong, and share with us this story, so we can actually take the time to love our loved ones that much more, forgive our loved
Yeah.
ones, ask for forgiveness from our loved ones, you know what I'm saying? Because man, it's hard out here right now. You know what I mean? We got all this stuff going on in the economy, all this, tension out here, and these sicknesses, and people are, man, every day, man, we losing somebody. So, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this story, man. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here, Twig?
Yeah, I mean, you basically said it. Like, yeah, you don't want to be caught looking back, because that's a prison in itself, You gotta make sure you make the most of the present, keep the people around you that are good for you, and don't let that negativity in.
Yeah. So like I say, man, happy holiday season to all of y'all. We glad that y'all spend y'all Sunday here live on the podcast with us. If you enjoy stories like this, we got more to come. Go ahead, hit the like button, because, we work hard on bringing you this content and, managing this page. Hit the subscribe button if you're interested in future stories. Down below in the description box, you'll find information on different content with music that we got getting released. We have the Discord that you can join. You can join our conversation. You can bring us topics. In there, you'll find different divisions, from music to comedy to podcasting to writing. And, something's up your alley. Eric also has his own projects coming out. Like I said, he's all the way in Leeds, UK. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. And we just making the bridge, good people doing good things. Here at So What I'm Living, we don't care about your race, your sexual orientation, your age, none of that, man. We just good people having good fun and having an unadulterated conversation, man. So, hey, like, comment, subscribe. And like I say, man, till next time, we'll see you later.